Chargers Central back again to talk about the big victory in Las Vegas over the Raiders. How's it going, Levon?
It's going good. 2-0. Feeling great. How are you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, it's always great to beat the Raiders, man. You know, uh, brings me back to our interviews with Sean Merriman. You know, he always loves beating on those Raiders.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but yeah, I mean, man, that defense, Chargers defense was so good. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, Deion Henley, man, I mean, flu game and all, that he was playing with 101 fever. That's insane. And to play at that level that he played in, that's insane. Derwin, proving once again he's the best safety in the league. It's not even close. Some people will say Kyle Hamilton, not even close. Kyle Hamilton's great, but nowhere near Derwin. The rest, I mean, Thule, right? He stepped up, which we've been wanting to see from him. He stepped up. He had some batted balls. I think he rushed the quarterback a couple times too. But man, that play where Derwin just rushed that offensive lineman, that was crazy. Like I haven't seen Derwin play this way since maybe his rookie year. So Jesse Minter, I mean, this guy, he's going to be offered a coaching job. I already know it. So if I'm the Chargers, again, promise him a head coaching job once Harbaugh's gone, because he's not going to last otherwise. You want to keep this guy as long as you can. So that's what I would do if I were them. But he's just a mastermind. Like, this is exactly what we're talking about, that our defense is scary. And now I'm seeing people I've never seen on my feed popping up. Chargers are the best team in the league. They're the most complete team in the league. They play on both sides of the ball. They have a great special teams unit. Yeah, and I don't want to say that I want us to continue to be underdogs, because it's great to be, out in the open and, being praised. But at the same time, okay, I like being an underdog, So 2-0. The offense played great. I think in the first half, they had some great plays. The touchdown to Keenan, it's great to see him back. This is why we wanted this guy back. He is the how should I say this? Like, he is the glue for this offense, and was when he was here prior and is now. I think some fans are concerned about, the usage of Ladd a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think he'll still, be getting his targets. I won't talk more about the Broncos preview, but I could see him having a big game against the Broncos.
Yeah. And the underdog thing, yeah, I think until we win a playoff game, until Herbert wins one, there's going to be a lot of people who say, you can't take this team for real yet. And that's fair. We do need to win a playoff game. And yeah, in my feeds, the Chiefs fans have gotten really quiet now. They like to chirp a lot after that first week loss and say, yeah, we're gonna beat the Eagles and everything's fine. Well, they lost to the Eagles and they're really quiet now. Yeah. So, but yeah, and Keenan, old reliable. He can get open whenever he wants, just like Ladd. And yeah, I'm not worried about Ladd either. It's just, I think it's just, game dependent, and some weeks he's not going to get over 100 yards, and that's fine. Herbert spreads the ball around. QJ stepped up once again, 60-yard touchdown. Love to see that from him, torching the Raiders yet again. Who, I checked back and he had 183 yards against the Raiders last year. It's crazy. So yeah, it's good to see. And Trey Harris got more involved this time. We still haven't seen KLS do anything. He had a penalty, which hurts his playing time. Hampton had the fumble, unfortunately. So Najee came in after that, and just for ball security. But I'm still not worried about Hampton either. He still had some nice plays. They only ran the ball, I think, 4 times the first half, so it's hard to get in a rhythm like that. It's weird to say, but we're a passing offense right now with Greg Roman, and teams can't stop it. So
Yeah.
you keep going to it. But yeah, you do eventually want to get the run game going. And shout out to the O line again. Trey Pipkins, you know, kept Max Crosby from going crazy. So just great stuff. And in that defense, people were worried about us losing Poona Ford. Hasn't lost a step, man. Like Naquan Jones comes in there, gives some great plays. We had 15 passes deflected. You know, Tony Jefferson, Unk, played a great game. INT, Derwin causing that other INT in the end zone. Yeah, and Henley, I love that move, that hesitation move where he got the sack on Gino. It's just great stuff. So let's keep it rolling against Denver.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised about the way that Geno Smith performed. I think I said last week that I just don't trust him, especially in primetime games. 3 picks, no touchdowns. This is Jesse Minter's identity. Grit and grind and primetime games, where a lot of people are watching. I know it was late in the East Coast, but still millions of people tuned in. And we showed up again on primetime. So that's 2 weeks in a row. Now we head back home against Denver. They haven't looked great, Denver. The Bo Nix played well against the Colts, but they still lost. Weird game, weird way to lose with that penalty at the end. But they're 1-1. And what's interesting is I think we are number 1 in potential turnovers. Like in plays that we can get a pick, but we didn't get it. And Bo Nix is number 1, vice versa. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out on Sunday. But I think JK Dobbins is going to be the main guy on that offense. He's going to want to come out and show, that you missed out on me. And look, to his credit, he's done a great job these first 2 weeks. And when he started with the Chargers, he did a great job. So that's something to look out for. RJ Harvey wasn't really involved last week. Could be this week. I don't know how that backfield is going to work out, but I could see him, getting another 6-7 carries this week. Cortland Sutton was shut down last week, only had 4 targets. Troy Franklin, I think, was the guy who they were going to more, a guy to look out for, because you can't have like a guy like Franklin beat you. And I think for the most part, this defense, I have full confidence in. The only hole I would say on that defense is Gilman, but Gilman on Monday played well. So I'm not too concerned about the defense. I think for the offense, you're going to probably see Patrick Surtain on Quentin Johnston. And that's going to open up Ladd and Keenan.
Well, do we even know if Surtain's going to play? He got injured.
He got injured, but he came back.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a toe injury. I think they said he came back. But I would be shocked if he doesn't play that game.
Yeah, and you got to look out for, they have other guys too. Evan Ingram, who hasn't done anything yet, but they really want to get him involved. So you don't want to see him get going. And look, this Chargers defense is a team that doesn't allow explosive plays. They don't allow stuff downfield. But Bo Nix, people have called him a check down merchant before, and he has no problem checking it down and throwing these short passes. So that is a concern for the Chargers defense. And For the offense, yeah, you'd really love to see Hampton get going. Denver is a team that passed on Hampton, so I'm sure he has that in mind
Mhm.
there. It'd be great to see him in front of the home crowd, break out with a big game. Um, and Genty didn't do anything either, so these young guys, maybe they just are going to take a little bit of time, and that's fine, you know. Um, but I still expect it to be a close game.
Mhm.
I think Denver's still a tough opponent. The Colts beat them, but the Colts are a good team too. They're better than everyone expected.
Yeah.
So there's still the battle for first place in the division. You have to win this, go 3-0, take that lead in the division, and don't look back after this game.
Yeah. No, definitely still a battle. I mean, it's only week 3, so a long, long way to go. And without Mack, he's going to miss 4 weeks. Probably will be back against the Colts or Vikings. And I say that because it's a Thursday night game against the Vikings. I don't know if they want him to play on a short week like that. But the rest of the guys, I mean, it's next man up. And we know that that's the case for this team, for Harbaugh, for Minter, next man up. And so far, it's worked. And I think Bud Dupree, he's going to have a big role with Mack out. He played well against the Raiders. And that's what's promising. Like, they didn't really miss a beat when Mack went out. And we thought that was going to be a bad injury. Like, we thought it was UCL tear. So I'm glad to see that it was not and that he's going to be back this year. Because, look, if we're going to make a Super Bowl run, we need Mack 100%. So glad to see that because, he's going to miss a couple games. But you look ahead and it's like, yeah, Giants, that should be a win. They played well against the Cowboys, but I just don't trust Russell Wilson. You contain neighbors and, that's pretty much it over there. So that should be a win. Then you get the Commanders who might be without Jaden Daniels. A win there. And Eckler, right? Eckler's out for the season. And then week 6, who was it? Week 6. The Dolphins. The Dolphins. And they've been struggling. Yeah. So it's like you can rack up wins. And what do we predict by week 6? I think it was like 5-1.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these people who were predicting us, with 9 wins, had us losing week 1. So I don't know how that plays in now for them, where they have us ranked in terms of how many wins we're going to get. But this was the fact that I was trying to mention in the beginning. This is the exact wording that was used. Chargers have forced the second most turnover-worthy plays as a defense with 5 throws that could have been possibly intercepted. And Bo Nix has the 5th highest rate of turnover-worthy plays, which is 5.7% of his passes. So something interesting there to look out for. I think, based off that stat, yeah, like we could have had more picks this season already, without a doubt. So I'm very high on this defense, even without Mack. But to make a run for the Super Bowl, absolutely need Mack. But in terms of just these next 4 games, I'm still high on this team, and we could still win all 4 of these games. I think pretty much this is the toughest game for them. If Daniels does not play week 5, this is the toughest game for them. If he does play, I think that would be the toughest. But you get through this game, I just don't see a loss.
Yeah, I agree. We can go on a winning streak. That would be great to see. I really want to see KLS get involved because we've seen Trey Harris a little bit. Have not seen any catches from KLS yet, and we know he can be a weapon. And some people are saying, hey, maybe you should activate Oronde Gadsden for this game. Yeah, it'd be great to see him too. We didn't see Conklin use it all in the past game, the last game. So I'd like to see more of that, even though they are spreading around great with the receivers that are out there right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it begs the question, 2 things that I could think of. QJ's playing so well that maybe they're like, KLS could take a back seat here. and used more of a as a safety net type of player. Second thing is like under Greg Roman offense, you expect the tight ends to be targeted and the run game to be fluent. And it's like Hampton barely got touches. He got 8 carries, I think. Najee had 8, but that was all late. Like Najee's carries were all in the fourth. Um, and then Conklin, very minimal targets. Disley, I didn't really see out there. So it's very uncharacteristic of a Roman system, which I don't mind. But it's like, we were saying too, it's like don't force a run. But now it's like, okay, we didn't mean don't run at all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting how they utilize against the Broncos because that defense, they're still good. Dre Greenlaw's been out the first 2 weeks. So if Greenlaw's back and he was a limited participant in practice on last Friday, so I could see him back against the Chargers. It'll change the scene for Denver's defense because their middle linebackers were pretty bad. So it'll be interesting if Greenlaw's back, how they utilize that run game, or do they keep the foot on the gas and have Herbert throw the ball more? We'll see.
Yeah, and Najee looked good in those carries. He looked like the strong old Najee that teams are going to get worn down trying to tackle. But it's funny, you say that. I saw an interview with Spagnuolo after that game, and he was completely caught off guard. He said, I didn't expect that. I was just ready to stop the run, like Greg Roman always does, and then they do that. I'm like, what the heck, man, So I think they are catching teams off guard, but it's no longer a secret now. So yeah. So now our teams, trying to stop the pass.
I think everyone's just confused, and that's a good thing. As long as Roman's not confused, that's great.
Yeah. But you would like to see that show that we can run the ball, and then teams have to respect that.
Yeah.
Too,
It's weird in the sense that, like, let's say the Broncos offense right now. If you're playing fantasy football, who are you targeting to start this week? It's like we're great against the run. We have great corners. Who are you starting? Aside from maybe Bo Nix, because it might be a higher scoring game. I could see about a total of 50 points combined this game. Aside from that, who are you targeting? Like maybe Marvin Mims you throw out there in a deeper league because he's a deep threat. I don't know. I think Dante Jackson will be on Sutton. And by the way, St. Just the other day on Thornton, he did a pretty good job for the most part. That end zone throw by Geno to Thornton, St. Just was covering him. So I think he did a fine job there. And that's how they're going to use him against those taller wide receivers. The Broncos have Pat Bryant, who hasn't been involved much, but he was more involved week 2. Could see him more involved week 3. But those are the types of receivers where you got to put St. Just on because, you have a talented corner core here, but not much height or size. So that's why St. Just is key in matchups like that. But like Jacoby Myers shut down. I think, well, for the most part, first half he was shut down. Second half he kind of opened up a little bit, but still they played well against him. And I think Dante Jackson was on him most of the game, and then I think Cam Hart switched a bit. But yeah, that's the thing with the Chargers. It's like, who are you going to start? Because defensively they have no weakness. And I get that Mack is out, but Bud Dupree played well last game, and Thule played well. So I'm not too concerned about these next 4. Again, if let's say this was an extensive injury, then I'd be concerned. But I can see some fans saying go out get Trey Hendrickson. He's too old. He's just too old and just not worth the money. So I would pass on him because you got Bud Dupree for a good deal too. So you don't want 2 veteran or 3, I should say, when Mack comes back. You don't want that. I think we're fine right now defensively. It's just a question of, I think the one thing to stop for the Broncos is JK Dobbins. That's what's been the positive for this offense is Dobbins. And, our guys know that. They know the ins and outs of Dobbins. They play with him for a whole year. Jesse Minter knows him inside out. So it'll be interesting. It's a good game to be at. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we'll be there.
Yeah.
And they know with Dobbins, you just have to limit those explosive plays because everything else, he's not going to get a ton of yardage on, so yeah, it's just stopping those 50, 60-yard ones where he breaks it off and just kills you with the touchdown there, like he did against the Bengals last year, and Minter knows that well, and they'll probably look back to that Houston game where Dobbins did nothing, and see what Houston did,
Yeah. The only thing I'm curious about is Najee Harris. He had 2 catches for 20 yards. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So are they going to look to him as a pass catching back, or are they going to continue with Hampton? Because those catches happened in the 4th. And there was one catch specifically where there was a man right on him and was still able to corral that. It was for 10 yards. So he got 2 10-yard catches for first downs. I wonder if they're going to be using him as a pass catching back as well, or if it's just going to be Hampton, because he's really not a pass catching back. But if it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
I hope they use both in that role because both of them can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And as far as defense, I think rushing on the edge besides Thule, you're not going to get a lot of sacks without Mack there, but we have been getting pressure inside. Caldwell, our rookie, was getting pressure. I love that we're getting pushed from the inside.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen that in years from this team. And, Henley's also going there and trying to get sacks. Derwin. And don't forget, Perriman's out.
Yeah.
So without Perriman, we're doing this. And Troy Dive, to his credit, he stepped up. And last year we saw signs of improvement. And this year he's taken off. And, he's not being featured too much. But when he's on the field, he's playing really well.
Yeah.
So he's been big. And I think when Perriman comes back, that linebacker room is complete. But yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from the defensive tackles on this team. They're doing really good. Tart, again, played well. He had that little shove on Gino, which wasn't called. But, plays like that is kind of tricky. Like, you don't want those calls to go against you. So hopefully that's not a habit for him. But aside from that, he's done a really good job.
Yeah, and these coaches, I've said it before, we have complete faith in all, not just Minter, it's all these position coaches, the DL coach, the corner coach.
Yeah. I mean, look at the linebacker, Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
He played with Patrick Willis. He knows what great linebackers consist of, and he was a great linebacker himself. Yeah. So I think when Deion Henley was on with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, they were talking about this and mentioned how, Bowman's basically their mentor. That's huge. And, it's crazy how Brandon Staley literally benched this guy his rookie year. And we kept saying at the time, like, why isn't he playing? He's a monster. Play him. And it's like you had Eric Kendricks out there. I mean, really? It's just so frustrating looking back at Staley's time. It was such a joke. But I'm glad to have Henley back in form, because it took him some time to get it going, obviously, because he sat a full year for nothing, but he hasn't missed a beat this year. He's been on top of it, and playing with that flu, like, that's serious. 101-degree fever, that's crazy. To play with that, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's like Harbaugh said, that's his Michael Jordan game. Michael Jordan flu game. Yeah, and he kicked it off right away with the turnover, forcing a turnover.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, maybe it's a good thing that Staley didn't play him, because who knows? Maybe he would have gotten hurt. Maybe
True.
bad coaching. Maybe he would have lost confidence.
Yeah.
Maybe he would, maybe they would have turned him into Kenneth Murray. Who knows? um,
Um,
but yeah, but this Broncos game, man, if we can win this, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, there's no stopping this team. I mean, the Commanders don't look great, and like you said, Jaden Daniels is hurt. He's gonna have to wear a brace. They have no Eckler, you know. So they don't look like that surefire loss that we were predicting earlier.
Yeah.
And the schedule's looking a lot easier, frankly, except for the Colts. Um,
Yeah. Which is crazy because thinking before the season started, like Colts, yeah, that's a win. But now it's like, no, Daniel Jones, this guy, he was trapped in that, trapped in like some hole in New York where he couldn't get out. He couldn't kind of seek his potential. And now, whether it's because he has better wide receivers, whether it's because he has a much better tight end in Tyler Warren, which, he's been off to a great start this season, but, Daniel Jones looks really good. And whether it's Jonathan Taylor or DJ Giddens, their backfield looks good. So that's going to be a game that that's going to be a game that you have to earn the win. And it'll be interesting to see how the Chargers linebackers play against a tight end like Tyler Warren. Like we saw them lock up Brock Bowers the first half, and the second half he got it going a little. But a guy like Tyler Warren, I mean, I think he's same tier as Brock Bowers. I know that's high praise, but I really do think so. So it'll be interesting to see that matchup for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And when you talk about locking up Jesse Minter, I hope we do the same for these position coaches too.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they're all critical.
Yeah,
you need all these guys. They all like. It's not like one or the other. It's a team. It's a cohesive unit. So I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing from the whole team in general, man. The depth, the skill, everybody playing their role. Nobody trying to go out and be a superstar to make their own money. Everybody's just doing what they're told to do, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and I think another thing is like Herbert getting Keenan back has given him a lot of confidence. And it's like people underestimate the influence that Keenan has for these quarterbacks. And last year they kept saying how he's watched, this and that. I kept saying no, he's not watched. He just has a bad QB. But because Caleb Williams was a USC star and was drafted high, they all had this high evaluation of him. And it's like not rookie year. And even this year, really, to start off, he hasn't shown much. Like they got blown out by the Lions week 2. So it wasn't Keenan, it was a quarterback. And there was a specific play earlier in the season last year where it was a end zone throw to Keenan, completely botched throw, but they blamed Keenan on that. Like that's a throw. That's not Keenan. So now that he's getting it going and has 2 touchdowns already on the season, people have quieted down about him being washed.
Yeah, that reminds me of Big Mike Williams getting blamed for Aaron Rodgers underthrowing balls.
Mm-hmm.
And the Herbert confidence thing. Hey, some people are saying it could be Madison Beer. Hey, a hot girlfriend can definitely help your confidence. So
yeah,
hey, whatever Herbert's doing, keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get this win against Denver. Go to 3-0. And Chiefs playing, I think, at home against the Giants.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football. You never know. Those primetime games, you just never know.
Yeah, and if the Chiefs lose that game, man, all hell gonna break loose in Chiefs Kingdom, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to find a new team fast if they lose
Yeah.
to the Giants, man.
I think Xavier Worthy might play that game. If he does, I don't think they lose. If he doesn't, again, it's going to be interesting. But it's a primetime game. Those are usually close regardless. And they got to cover neighbors. Cam Scatterbo's getting it going too. So they got some playmakers over there. Let's see what they can do against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and Russ cooked last game.
Yeah.
Let's see if Russ cooks again. He can hold. He's trying to hold off Jackson Dart. So.
I was just about to say, I'm glad he cooked because I don't want Dart week 4. Yeah. So keep Wilson in there.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, keep the comments coming. We love to see it. And bolt up and say hello if you see me or Levon at the game, Denver. Yeah, feel free to say hello. We love to talk to the fans. All right.
Of course.
See you.
See ya.